Hi, this is Kim Pinkney and welcome to my channel. Alright, so today I'm working on Helping Hand. It's a comic written by Jamie Wojcik, and I am going to be doing some thumbnailing for page 3. Let's see, and I'm just going to pretty much detail what I usually do to do this sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start selecting my brush. We'll go to that, and then just pretty much use a color that I can work with. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop right on in. Usually the first thing I usually do is read the script. I have a 3-panel type of process here. I'm not married to it. When Jamie says he wants 4 panels, well, gosh darn it, the man's going to get 4 panels. So, we are going to go ahead and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to look at the script here, and let's see, we're looking at page 3. Now, Jamie was really good at setting up what the panel, or what he anticipates the comic to look like, and I'm going to try to stick to his layout as much as possible, because me being the artist, I don't know how many pages that he's got to print, and if he's got something set up that everything has to fit this kind of page type of thing, I have to stick to it. So I'm trying to limit my interaction with that, even though I have free reign at whatever I want to draw. Okay, so looking at this, it looks like 2 panels, and he illustrates or explains what's in each panel. So this first panel is going to be, so what I'm going to probably end up doing is just splitting this page and just making it into 2 panels. Okay, even though I've got 3. Now, front view of William and Lauren, much younger, in high school, leaning up against the lockers. Williams wearing a random rock shirt and jeans, has his right foot on the locker behind him. So he's kind of like perched on the locker. And then Lauren is in a half-zipped hoodie with a t-shirt underneath, jeans. Lauren's laughing and William is smiling. Both have books in hand. Students passing through the halls. So I've got some text I've got to add. I've got 1, 2, 3 text boxes to add onto the first panel, and I've got 2 on the second. So in panel 2, both are in the same spots, but now wearing t-shirts that read cadets and running shorts. Both are standing straight with hands held behind their backs, looking straight ahead. Let's see, 2 random characters in the same position, 1, 2 on either side. Okay. Standing on a platform outside, like an enrollment. Okay. So I have a couple ideas what I could possibly do to these panels. I can split the page in half. Hard, like, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I can do this sort of thing where I oops, I need a layer. That's why I lock my layers, because I'm such a dumb bunny. Okay, so I can do this sort of thing where I split it in half, and then I can show high school up here and enrollment down here, like the police academy type of thing. I can, let's see, I can do, let's see, if I'm, well, so I'm not going to merge page 4 onto here, because maybe there's a specific reason why he has, you know, this thing's blocked off. So I can also do something like that. Or and have kind of like have them kind of breaking, so you have them wearing something else, but also, from high school here and police enrollment here, or the academy there. Let's see. Let me put my text boxes in real quick. I'm thinking maybe I can, went too far. Here we go. So, or I could just do 2 big boxes. We'll see what this lends itself to. So let me go ahead and create a box. Let's see. And I'll go ahead and start adding the text into here. Well, actually, let me see. Let me bring this over here. For panel 1, it's got a lot of words. Since we were teenagers, all Lauren and I could think about or talk about was becoming detectives. Let's see, so it's going to be some big boxes. Let's see. So, looking at this, it's not going to lend itself well to splitting it in half like that. Like, say I was going to take it and split my panel in half, where I'd have like them kind of, standing at attention with people behind them. And top part would be high school, bottom part would be jeans. That's not going to work for me, so I got to get rid of that idea. Go ahead and back it up. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is add the text. I don't know why I grabbed my keyboard, because I can't use my keyboard here. Okay, so let's do this. It's going to take me a second to get everything typed into here. You add your text in the actions panel here. Let's see. And I'm using Jack Armstrong that comes with the program. I'm going to knock it down to about 40. I don't want to really go below 40. But 40 kind of allows for you to still be able to see it, and we'll do 50. It's kind of hard to narrow it down to the numbers. Let me see if I hold it down on the screen. No, it still doesn't give me any control. So 49.9 is going to be it for now. Okay, so looking at the text, bring that back over. Okay, so this is William talking. Let me select here and hit that. Okay. Yep. There should be a comma in here. Since we were teenagers, all Lauren and I could talk about was becoming detectives. It should be would, but because he could talk about other things if he wanted to. He really probably did want to. Okay, I'm going to switch this out. I'll give that a period. And then I'm just going to make this text box a little bigger. I'm going to use the freeform tool. And just kind of adjust it a bit. Move the text up. And just kind of center it. Okay, good enough for government work. I'm going to also duplicate the text. Okay. Got it all selected by double tapping. The ones so as I'm reading through this, I get that they want to be cops or detectives, and they're ambitious. And so what I'll do is I'll have images to show anything that's kind of like police oriented type of thing. Let's see, crack R. Okay, so we got another text box here. I'll duplicate that. Just want to give it plenty of room. Okay. Now if you want to, you have two ways that you can change the size of your text. You can select it like this, but it doesn't enable the text wrapping. You can come into the layer itself and edit text, or you can just double click on that layer. To do the text wrapping, you just get it to where you want it in the box and it'll automatically wrap itself. Or you can, squeeze it in and get it to be a little bit more interesting to read. I'm not sure if it's easier to read when it's straight horizontal like this, or if it's a little bit more interesting when you kind of have it kind of staccato like this, where it's centering. Let me see. So if I want, I can squeeze it in depending on the artwork. So what I don't want to do right now is merge this text box with this text just yet. But I'll end up doing that eventually. Okay, once I'm satisfied that this is the size of the text box that I'm going to have. Once you've merged your layers, you can't edit it. It becomes like a picture. Let's see. So I need one more. Now with these being a split type of panel, this will definitely, I'm going to duplicate this layer, because if you just start off with a whole nother thing of text, you'll have to adjust the size and try to get them to be the same size for each other. So what I'm thinking is I can do that arrow type of thing and see if I can draw interest to the other panels. Let's see. Let me just click on that and select all. Okay. We weren't born into. We weren't born into. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Since we were teenagers, all Lauren and I could think about, or all could talk about, was becoming detectives. be the ones to outshine everyone else, crack our first case, and just do it at each other's side. We weren't born into what? I don't understand it. So I'm going to have to bring that up to Jamie, but I'm going to go ahead and type it anyway. Now for me, he had one of my, I hate the word pet peeve, but one of the things that annoy me is not having, like, if you want me to draw for you, have your script and everything not being ready. You know, that's so annoying, because then it's like I have to do much more work than I should. We weren't. I'm wondering if he should say we weren't prepared for this. We definitely weren't prepared. I'll send a message to him in a bit. Okay, no, I won't put the ... We weren't born into. So I'll have him take a look at that. But in the meantime, I'll just have this here. Okay, and then for the second panel, and just for giggles, I'm going to just take this here. It would have been nice if this would fit right here, but, you know, just to kind of keep it interesting, but we're not worried about just the text. This is something that has to do with them. Okay, but I like that. I like how that would break it up. But when I start to do my artwork, it's going to make a difference. Okay, so I've got that text there. Next one, for panel 2. So you guys can see what I'm looking at. Both in same spots. Both now wearing t-shirts that read cadets and running shorts. Both are standing straight with hands held behind their backs, looking straight ahead. 2 random character in the same position, one on either side of them, standing on a platform outside like an enrollment. Okay, so neither of our families served, and honestly, they didn't want this life for us. Okay, now I'm getting it. I'm wondering if he should consider this, though. I don't know. Okay, so let's just keep going. Can't nitpick. Add text. See, this is what happens when you just add text. It just throws itself at whatever size, like 259 is, I guess, the biggest size on here. And I think on here you can't edit the attributes of the text. So, like, if I'm in the Jack Armstrong, you can't add it. You can't change its attributes like you can with a brush like this. Like any kind of brush like this, you can change the properties of it to be its maximum size. Like, if I would have my way, maximum size for this would probably be about maybe 60, 70, probably no bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to duplicate this one. Let's hit duplicate. Bring it down so I don't get confused. Neither of our families served, and honestly, they didn't want this life for us. Okay, so I got to get out of that to edit the text. This will only allow you to move the text around and make it bigger or smaller, but it won't let you type into it. So you got to make sure that if you are using the arrow key to move your text box, if you make it bigger or smaller or whatever, if you change it, like say you're going to flip it horizontal or do an effect like distorting it like that, it rasterizes it and makes it into something that cannot be typed over. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So say I was going to take this, and I like doing this for when I'm screaming or something like that. Yeah, I just got nuts with it. Let's see, just editing the text somehow to the point you could still read it, but there we go. You can still read it, and say you wanted to warp it a bit. Okay, so once I let go, it rasterizes the text, so I can't type over it anymore. Boo. Whoops. Don't want to rasterize it. There we go. Okay. Sometimes when you just double tap into it, it'll select it all. Okay, so I'm going to come back into here and start typing. Oops, you didn't see any of that. That was really brilliant, Kim. What I was basically saying, sorry about that, is that if you manipulate your text like this, and maybe distort it like that, once you let go of it, you can't type onto it or correct it or anything like that anymore. You can make it bigger and smaller. You can keep distorting it, but now the text is rasterized and you can't do anything else to it. And that's what I pretty much had covered up. I apologize for that. I can't see. So I'm going to bring it back to where I can edit it. There we go. And we'll just double click on that. That selects everybody. We've already got it under the edit style here, or rather the keyboard. And we're going to start typing. Okay, so yeah, neither of our families served and honestly. Yeah, so I think for me, he hastily finished his script, and that's why there's grammatical errors and things like that. Whoops, as I create one. So he probably didn't have a chance to get somebody else to read over this. Probably didn't want this life for us. Okay. So this will be part of the other, and I think just to separate it, I'm going to have the text on the right side and then the text on the left side. And I think, if anything, it says we weren't born into it, but I think that line, we weren't born into it, should be combined with but we were destined for this. And I think that would be a little bit stronger than what we have right now. But I'm gonna do this. Since we were changed, we weren't born for this. I'll duplicate that. And I think maybe just to make it stronger, I could put we were destined for this. We were like so destined for this, bro. Okay, I'm gonna double check. And I think, in my humble opinion, I think destined should be like italicized, made, you know, kind of like a little bit bolder. So I'm going to bold up that. Let's see if I can do that. This is italicized and this is bold. Let's see, these guys should be, let me see, select all. Okay, that's all regular. And then I'm going to bold that one. Okay. Cancel. Bring this down. Alright, and then we'll just create. Now for giggles, I'm playing with the idea of either making the text boxes a little longer so they're not so bulky and take up all my space. So let's see, if I do that, let me duplicate this. I'm going to bring that down, turn off these guys. Okay, so the first one we're going to put with sense. Whoops. And with sense, I'm going to see if I can make that long so it goes horizontal. Whoops, wrong way. Okay. Deselect. And I'm just going to drag this out. So I want to give myself as much room as I can. And then, oops, cancel. And then this beast, I'm going to bring that up here. Now I'm wondering if doing that would hurt. So let's see. I'm wondering if before I start manipulating the text, draw out my design first. So let's see. Because we still want to keep it interesting. Let me go back. Because I want to vary the sizes of the text boxes. So you have long and then short, moderately long, little fat, and then short again. Okay. So what I'll do is leave these alone for now, and we'll turn them off. Oops, we'll keep this one on, just for now. Okay, so we need one more layer, and this is where the majority of my artwork is going to be. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have about maybe 5 or 6 more layers that I can add to this. Okay, so one of the ideas that I was having was that if they are in school and William is kind of doing, let's see, I want her, okay, I want to be able to transition, okay, but I also want to show the school, so our horizon line would be kind of like right here. Whoops, this is a stupid way of showing it. Let's do this. Canvas. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a drawing guide in here. And we'll do perspective. And we need a vanishing point. We'll just go ahead and put it right here. I want to be able to see the school. and then maybe have the text come around the bend here. Let me go done, and we'll just do a 1-point perspective type of thing. And I'm going to roughly draw in the row of lockers. Oops. You know what? Let me do this. There's another thing with the guide. We got the drawing guide and we've got an assist. Let me see. Assisted drawing is on. We'll go done. And I'm going to make these kids local. And the drawing assist will allow me to pretty much only stay on the planes and do vertical lines. This might be a little too big. Okay, so I've got that going on there. Now I want her to open up her locker. Okay. Let's do it this way. But this is going to make it difficult to, if I do it in this kind of perspective, it might make it difficult to mirror it down here. Let me try something here. No. Okay, so this will be like the hallway. Because what I'm thinking is I'm going to go ahead and start using some shapes. Let me see if I can do that. What I like doing is bringing out my rectangle tool, and it doesn't know the difference between locker, perspective and anything like that. It's not bound by that. But what I like doing is I need to take a color, something not too annoying, and this will, well, lockers are usually like grayish, so we'll use like maybe this bluish gray. And what I like doing is, well, I'll deselect it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to distort the shape, but I'm going to do it in the perspective. So we'll say that the row of lockers will be about like right here in space. You got to keep your vertical line and put it about like right there. Our ground will be, we'll have these kind of stacked. If I do that, let me see, I want to bring this up a bit. Let's see. There we go. All right, so we have the one shape here. And I want to stack these lockers on top of each other if that's possible. So I'm going to duplicate this and I'll bring it down. But now that it's lower than eye level, it needs to be manipulated. And if you're ever caught like with this thing in the way and you can't see, hold down this arrow key at the top here. Just hold it down for a few seconds, and then while you're holding it, you can change the move your screen here. Okay, now let go, and then you can manipulate your beast again. And we'll bring it down just a bit so that there'll be like a bit of when I was in high school, this is what our lockers looked like. We were stacked on top of each other. Okay. And then I can do like a horizontal line to give it depth. Okay, so anyway, we'll say that they're flushed against the wall. It looks a little wrong here on the bottom. Let's see if I can edit that. There we go. And then I'll just bring this down a bit. Okay, I just want to try to use the lines as much as possible. Maybe not. Okay, good enough for government work. Let me bring this up from the bottom. I just want to bring it up just a bit without moving everything. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. Okay, so all this will be like ground, but then again, I gotta keep in mind that this is not going to be a full page thing. I'm going to ixnay on the bottom lockers, but we'll do this. Let's see, we'll have it, well, before I ixnay the lockers, I need to get some placement going. Kids will be going this way and that. Lockers should be on both sides of the corridor, or we can just put like signs or something like that on the other wall. Okay, so like to do the wall, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it another layer, and for giggles I'm going to go ahead and lock those together, give it a new layer. Select. Let's see. Now if this is going to be my wall, let's see, we'll just go ahead and give it about this much, and we'll give it like maybe a different color. Maybe let me go to, I'm going to go to the palette that I have for helping hand. This is mostly for bodies and stuff. I'm going to set it to default and then come back to my disk. And let's see, my school colors were like blue, white, and gold. And I think I'll have this one be maroon. And just for giggles, let's find out what goes with maroon. We'll select maroon. We'll go to color harmony. Okay, so we have green, and we have like this purple here. So we'll have maroon, green, or this is like maybe maroon and teal. We'll make that a little lighter. So about these two colors will be the school colors, and that'll be what's going to dominate. Well, yeah, we'll make those the school colors. So let's see, we'll just go ahead and throw them right here. And right here, and then I'll just do degrees of those colors. Okay, so the walls, we'll give it like this blue tone, but instead of it being that blue tone, we'll give it like a lighter version of that blue. So we'll get out of that, come back to the disk, and we'll just kind of give it that color. Alright, so we'll throw those on the walls. We'll deselect it. Now if you don't deselect, like say you've got your thing selected here, if you don't deselect it, it'll leave like a ghost line around it where you've moved it. It's not the effect we want to go for. Okay, so this one I'm going to put this in perspective too, and I'm going to take it all the way to the ground level. We'll just bring that all the way up. And we'll have it just kind of, let's see, see, we are against the wall. If those are sticking out just a bit, so we'll use this line here as our wall perspective. Follow the line, damn you. Okay, and then this will be vertical. And it needs to come down just a bit. We'll have it do like that. Just come in. Okay. And then we'll just bring it beneath that. Okay, so this is like an idea that I have for the wall. Build the wall. Okay, and I wanted like a little bit of a bottom here for the ground. Let's see. And if I decide to mirror, duplicate that, flip that horizontal. It's the other side of the passageway, and we'll just kind of bring it on in a bit. And maybe we'll bring it down some. Nah. Just leave it there. Okay, just for now. And or maybe even in some. And then eventually I'll like cut it. I'll trim all the stuff that's coming towards us. Okay, so we've got the back of the passageway. Let's say maybe we've got a class or something like that. That's maybe a door here in between the wall here and the lockers. So let's see. I'm going to duplicate this. Oops, rather than do that, reset. And then we'll just take it down. Whoops, reset. We'll use uniform. So that'll let us have a bit of a classroom. And then more lockers. So like they could come out of that little opening that's like right there. Oops. Let me bring that down more. And we'll distort it just a bit. I just want to keep going into infinity here. I might end up just redrawing that. Not important though. Because you've got text boxes and things like that to deal with. So I'm going to delete that for now. But just to be kind of realistic, and then back here would be probably people walking through another hallway, then another door, or whatever. So maybe there's another passageway against the wall back here. So if I was doing that, I don't have a lot of layers to play with, so let me stop. Okay, next layer. We're going to draw the people, finally. Okay, so the idea I have is that if he is against the wall, he can either be against this wall. Oops. Let me use a different brush. One that's not sticky like this. And that's one of my favorites. I like using the soft brush. And we'll just bring it up to about 2 or so. Okay, so if she is at her locker, I want it to be big enough so that we can see inside her locker. So maybe I might have to tilt the screen a bit. So we'll see less of that wall. And more of this. So let me see if it'll let me, oops, tilt this a bit. I'm going to bring it up a bit. It'll cut off the lockers, because I really want her locker to be eye level. Let's see, and we'll just make this, oops, we'll freeform it. This changes my perspective a bit. Let's see, so we'll have that about maybe right there. But this is a rough, so I'm not really worried. Okay, so if she is here laughing, and we'll make, let's just do this. Get on this layer. Okay, and this one should help me keep the perspective. And I think I want that bigger. Let's see. Let's see. I might have to redraw this, but basically I want it open. Kind of like that. Let's see, we'll use warp a little bit. There's an advanced mesh, so if I'm not quite where I want to be, see, I got that. Whoops. Just want to bring this up a little higher. There we go. But I didn't want it to warp too badly. Okay. So her locker's open, and when you look at her locker, you see like a lot of cop stuff. So like I think I'd want to show like a famous cop or something like that. Like maybe RoboCop, or let me get on this one. All right, let me turn off the assisted. Now we can have fun with what they're wearing. I could put, whoops, let's do William on his own. layer. Okay, so William, will have him be like right here. Kind of looking at her, and then her right here. And he's got like 1 foot here. Now he's supposed to be wearing like a shirt, a rock and roll shirt of some sort. And I think what I'll put on him is like a famous police shirt, like with Sting, like somebody like Sting, and maybe a couple of the other guys in the band. Something iconic. So I'll look up that and put that on him. Need something that's a little bit more of a comfortable pose. And maybe we'll put his book like right here, and then maybe she's got like a poster here, maybe RoboCop or something like that. Something that looks cool. But instead of it being like it's saying RoboCop, it'd be like OCP or something like that. Like in the movie. Oh, here we go. I'll buy that for $1. That's what yeah, you like that? You remember that part?
Sure,
yeah, my son. Yeah, let's see. So I'm going to put that in there. Yeah, well, okay, so there'll be like I'm kind of live streaming, but you know. And I don't think anybody's in here, but it's cool for posterity. Now, but for those of you who do eventually join me, welcome. I'm Kim Pinkney, and my son remembers RoboCop too. But yeah, so I'm going to find a pose that is a little bit more comfortable, but this is kind of what I have in mind. So we'll have students walking, and of course I'll be smaller, maybe someone beside her in their own locker, and maybe somebody down at their locker, maybe kneeled. Okay, so I can have something like this. I could put his hand behind his back, kind of just kind of posing, and setting it up for the next panel. Now I got to keep in mind that with all the stuff that I'm throwing in here, I'm still got all those text boxes I've got to fit in. So that is one of the downsides to scripting out everything bare bones. And I don't think he's being rigid, but this is one of the things that if you are rigid in your setup for your artist, you got to keep in mind that if you have a whole bunch of text, artwork will get covered up. So like currently, let me see if I only can have this be half the size. So let me see if I can grab everything here. We've got this layer, oops, this layer, and this layer. And we'll freeform it. And we'll put it about halfway. So either I can leave it like this, or I can have it right here. And with the current way I've got text on here, I can have the text up here. Let me turn, whoops. Okay, so since we were teenagers, let's see. Right there. And then now what I can also do is create the background and then just kind of like diffuse it so that it's not like the biggest thing. You have the idea of where we are. So we weren't born into this. Neither of our families wanted that. We were destined for this, so I'm going to bring that down. So now if they are in this position here, because he's saying that he wants them in the same position, and I could, it's kind of tricky. Let's see, girl is on this layer. Whoops. I need a pose that is comfortable, but maybe a bit of her backside here. I was having her reach into her locker. You zoom in a little bit. Let's see, I'm thinking to give her maybe a ponytail. But then again, she probably looks really pretty with her hair down. So we'll throw like long hairstyle on her. And then a ponytail when she's in formation. Now she could push him, you know, kind of like a flirty type thing. Like he said something funny. Because she's supposed to be laughing. So let's see if we can give her that expression that she's laughing. Alright, so I got about a few more minutes. And then we'll have her books like right here. We'll toss her head a little bit further back. And he's just smiling at her. And then we should throw something in here that has more cop stuff. Maybe a teddy bear that's got like, maybe sitting on a shelf against the wall here. So we'll have maybe something with cops on it, and then maybe the teddy bear. Now, thumbnails don't have to be perfect. They just have to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be working with. Yeah, so we'll have like a little cop bear here. I'm thinking maybe like a picture of Eric Estrada or something like that on there. Let's see, we'll have like a textbook here. Let's see, maybe a spiral notebook right here. And just to make things a little easier to see, let's try this. Whoops, clear. I'm going to freehand some of the things here so that we can see through them. So this kind of keeps, whoops, let me do one more layer, put it underneath, and we'll give her the peach color. We'll give him whoops, add. We'll give him more of like the blue color. We'll get it like about that color. And then, you know, the wall and whatnot has their own color. So we've got that. And I think what I'd like to do is have her wearing something that's reminiscent of the school. So, you know, go silkworms type of thing. Let's see. Now, William says that in one of these days I'll have him join us for the live stream. It's like, explain yourself, or you know, talk about your story a little bit. Where do you see it going? Or maybe a little bit about the characters. Now, most schools won't allow you to wear like midriffy stuff where you won't be able to see your belly unless you're maybe a cheerleader or something like that. So she'll have like a short zip-up hoodie, and but she'll have a shirt on here, and I can have like maybe some text or something like that on it, and then she'll have like jeans on. So, and since the story is more about him, I don't mind showing his body and then her being like cut off right here. Because it's like him talking anyway. So, I don't know. I'll look up some designs for hoodies and stuff. But in case I do go the route, I like how this gives me like that arrow shape, like whoops, like this, and then the latter part down here, and you know, I can just keep everything all the way to the end here. So all this would be high school. This part could be text, you know, a little bit of high school, but text. And then from here on, I want to be on a different layer. Okay, let's see this layer. Let's see, we'll merge this one down. So yeah, the advice that I was watching a YouTube video where they say lay down your text first, and that was from McKay and Gray. They do a web comic, and it's really good advice. I've learned a lot about web comics from watching their videos, drawing while I'm watching their videos. Let's see, we'll put a bigger person here because we're going in perspective. Let's see, we still need to keep the perspective, or at least I'd like to. There we go. And we'll throw Lauren here. Whoops. Let's see if we can clean it up a bit. So I can also have fun with the text. I can have it follow that same arrow shape. And then, let's see, so we got one person here. Oops. We'll have William here. And is a cadet. Another one here. And we could probably throw in a ball cap, since we don't see the shirt very well. This could be the symbol for the badge or something like that. All right, let's see. And then another person. I'm just trying to keep them on the same plane here. And then I can have the text in front of them. Let's see. So, we were destined. Now I like in the layers palette, or the layers panel here, where it has like what some of the text is, because it's like the symbol's not giving anything away. Okay, so we weren't born. I'll leave that alone. Neither of our families. Okay, so I can put that here. And then we were destined. Now I can even go bigger. with the people here. Let me see, we weren't born. And just kind of let the text make that S shape. All right. Okay. So that's not bad. It's not the same position that he mentions in the script, but because I can't think of how I would make them in the same positions if I'm doing her reaching into her locker. They are at lockers, so if I was redoing it, let me see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate page 3. I'm going to select page 3, duplicate. That way I still have the text. Whoops. And I'll come back to this. And I'll just change up the positions. So I'll delete that one, delete that one. Like say I'm not going to show the lockers being open in order to give them that same positioning. So I can delete that one. Delete that one. We'll do it over again. Now I have all the text. I'm going to turn it off for the moment. Now I could, instead of doing it in perspective like that, or let's see, say we did the same thing, boom, 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 and whoops, cancel. Get myself a layer here. Say they are side by side. Let me see if I can throw the lockers back in here, because he did mention lockers for some reason. I guess that's important. There we go. Let me go back. Got everybody back in showing. We got our lockers. Okay, so I could do, well, when he says that his foot is against the wall, I could do it the opposite way. So let's see. We'll take this. We'll duplicate it for the moment. Well, actually, no. We'll delete it. We'll flip it horizontal. So it looks... Let's see. And we'll move the text. Be the ones over here. We weren't born into it. So instead of okay, so cancel. Need another layer. There we go. And I'm going to put it beneath the text. So if they're talking, I can have them also standing. You know, so maybe this is like their daydreaming session. And then we'll have like another person here. And then all the text could be out here, around the edges here. Okay, so still at, let's see, so I want her to have this look, the eraser head here, where she is, she's smiling and laughing. And they're just imagining what it's like to be a cop. Or, oh, I got it. Being a detective. So she's got her head back and she's laughing, got her hand on his shoulder, and maybe he's making a gesture with his fingers, like pew pew. Got his thumb up. And he's got his, still with that same pose. One foot is against the locker. And then she's laughing at him, got her hand on his shoulder. And she's got a hoodie on, and he's got, let's see, we can be looking at her. One, two, three, four, five. Like, make my day. These fingers are loaded. They may be loaded with boogers, but they're loaded nonetheless, type of thing. Okay, anyway. Okay, so just a thought. And then maybe he's one of those guys that wear like two shirts over. So he could be like wearing a RoboCop shirt or something like that, or I'd buy that for $1, or Chips, or a Columbo. I'm trying to think of any detective who's famous, maybe an Inspector Gadget or something like that. But he's supposed to be wearing a some sort of rock shirt. So. So I'd have to find a rock shirt that might be kind of cool for something like this. Now in this position you really can't see his legs, so I'd have to make it kind of small. Let me see if I can make it smaller. And we'll make her a little smaller too, so we'll just kind of distort it just a bit. So we got that going on, and then them as cadets. Let's see, I'll go ahead and 3-finger sweep it, and then cut and paste. That way it's on a whole nother layer. Come on, you. And then we have them as cadets. And still get to keep that text all in this readable type of area. So I would end up either let's see. And it's almost cool that the lockers are kind of giving them their text, no, their box. Okay, so basically this is how I would start out my thumbnails. I would read the script, try to interpret it as best I can, and then give myself some thumbnails that I can clearly see the direction of, where their heads are, and where my text boxes would be. And then try to make it look interesting. One way of I could flip this horizontal so that let's see, they're in the same position, but it's flipped the other way around. So let's see, so like this right here, I could flip it horizontal, so it's almost like they're looking at their past selves, and then just move the text, and still I could still position the text in an interesting fashion. Let's see, we weren't born to it, we were destined for this. And then and this also gives me a little bit more room to play. So like right here, I can add another person here, another person here. Let's see, and I can switch sides. I can make this one right here is Lauren, but this one right here could be William. So, and they're both still kind of going with the perspective. All right. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me for the thumbnails. Tomorrow I will be fleshing out, making a decision on whether or not I want to keep this version or this version. This one looks like it has a lot more personality to it, and this one right here, yeah, I'm not sure. So I'll see which one William likes best, which one interprets more of what he was looking for, and I will be working on this page, or cleaning up. Let's see, I'll be cleaning up some of the other pages tomorrow. Some of the things that I had worked on my Instagram, I've got the splash page, which is right here, and I was doing a video on how I was creating this right here, and part of the Gundam in the back. I tried to make it into like a little schoolgirl, like the little area in the front is going to be a bow, and then I gave it like blushies and stuff like that, but it's so small that it's really, you can't see it. But also, one of my pride and joy was creating this bush or tree that is cut out in the shape of a dragon for the Silk Fest that they have going on in this town. So they're like in town at just the right time, I guess you could say, for the Silk Fest. I did that in a previous video, and this one as well in a previous video, for this is the place that they're heading to. So again, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for helping hand here. So again, I'm tossed, I've got to figure out, am I going to do this one right here that has a lot of personality, or this one right here, which I could probably do the same thing, open up the locker, maybe have some music playing, and show the teddy bear and whatnot as well. But they are in, similar positions, close to what the script calls for. So hamburger A or hamburger B. if you guys like, if you pop on in, leave me a comment on which one you think is cool. Hamburger B or hamburger A? Taste test. All right. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.